Hey up everyone, hope we're all doing well. We have had a few fights announced for the summertime and I want to go through the main ones and place them in a tier ranking list. And what I class as the summertime fights is the fights that take place from the start of June and the end of August. And just before we do get started, if you enjoy UFC content and love staying up to date with UFC news, make sure to drop a sub as we're trying to hit 1k subs. But anyways, regardless of that, let's get straight into it. Now to start off the summer, we have UFC 316 and we're going to be talking about Kayla Harrison and Juliana Pena. Now, where does this fight go? I'm going to put it in C tier. Now, when it comes to women's MMA, it's quite hard to get invested. And not only this, do I feel like the fight would deliver? I don't really know. And for some reason, I feel like we're going to get some fucking fluky win from Juliana Pena. I know that everyone's expecting Harrison to win, and I imagine she's going to be a big favorite. But for whatever reason, I think I'm going to mainly side with Kayla Harrison. But I don't know. I feel like Juliana Pena might get a win. I mean, she was able to do it against Nunes. Who knows? But is anyone really that bothered about this fight? I don't really know. I mean, at the press conference, it wasn't that bad between these two, to be fair. A bit of trash talk. Wasn't that bad. The winner gets Amanda Nunes. So maybe I'm being a bit too harsh. But overall, the excitement levels for this fight, do I think it delivers? I don't think so. I'm going to put it in C tier as the first one. But the main event, the rematch that nobody fucking asked for, Marab and Sean O'Malley, where does that go? Oh man, I'm gonna put it just above. Again, I don't think there's much excitement going into this one, and I don't blame O'Malley and Marab. I blame the UFC for this one, because Sean O'Malley should have had to have at least fought someone in order to get a title shot again. He's done fuck all and just been gifted another title shot for doing fuck all. So it's kind of hard to get excited when you saw them fight in September. The fight what we got given wasn't that fun. It wasn't an entertaining fight. Marab won quite comfortably. And since then, Marab has gone on to put on a bang against Umar, to be fair. And O'Malley's done fuck all. And it's just like, why are we doing this? Second time round, I don't know. I feel like Marab's going to win similarly, and I feel like that's the common take. So I've just put it in C. I don't think you can get too excited for this one. As a co-main and main combo, not the best of 316, I'll be completely honest. Next up, we have a fight night card a week after this, which is, and we got straight to the main event between Joaquin Buckley and Kamaru Usman. I'm putting this in A tier. I think this is great matchmaking. The return of Kamaru Usman after, what, 2 years, I think it is. Kamaru Usman's been barking. I deserve a title shot. I deserve a title shot. No, you don't. You don't deserve shit. You're 0-3. You're getting matched up with Joaquin Buckley, who nobody wants to fucking fight. I feel like both of these guys will build up the fight quite well. I know it's not long away and there hasn't been too much of a build-up, but come fight week, I think Buckley's going to do a great job. Hopefully, we get some sort of interaction between them, like, I don't know, a hotel interaction or something like that, because Buckley stands on business and talks a lot of shit, and Usman always says he likes to stand on business and all this. I think the fight itself will deliver. I actually think it's an interesting fight as well. I see a lot of people counting out Kamaru Usman. Me personally, I might give this fight to Kamaru Usman. Yes, he's 0-3. Yes, he's been a bit inactive, but at the same time, I don't know. He made Hamzat struggle, man, on short notice. I still believe we've still got some left in the gas tank of Kamaru Usman. I still think he's got a bit left. There's still a bit of hunger in that fucking EPO body that he has. But I think that's a great matchmaker. I find it very interesting, and I can't wait for that fight. And I do believe it will deliver 5 rounds, and I think it's going to be carnage. A week after, we go to the home country of Rafael Fiziev, the Azerbaijani. He is the co-main, Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. I'm going to put it in B tier. I don't think the build for this will be crazy, but we all know one thing. This is going to be a fucking banger, and it's an interesting matchmake. Now, don't get me wrong. The only reason this has been done is because Fiziev is from that country, Azerbaijani. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, by the way. My pronunciations are awful. But this is a banger fight, man. If you don't get excited for this fight, then stop watching MMA, like, genuinely. This is an absolute banger of a fight. Who wins? Man, I don't fucking know, you know. Fiziev, I believe in him. He's one of my favorites. I fucking love him. He was already talking about moving down to 145, and that has created a bit of concern for me, because you're already talking about moving down to 145. You've just came off a war with Justin Gaethje and lost. Yes, it was short notice, I'm aware, but Ignacio Bahamondes has got a lot of momentum after making light work of Manuel Torres and Jalen Turner, retiring and Jalen Turner as well. So this is a very interesting one. Can't wait for this one. Think it's only 3 rounds. Would have loved 5 rounds, but you know what? 3 rounds, I'll take it. This is going to be an absolute fucking banger, and that's why it goes into the B tier. The only thing what lets us down, I doubt will be a crazy build to it. After this, we've got the main event between Jamal Hill and Khalil Roundtree. I'm going to put it in B tier as well. I was tempted to go C tier as well, but I think this will be a banger. The build, don't think it'll be crazy. I know Jamal Hill can make... I think he can make builds quite interesting, to be fair, because people see him as delusional, and, you know, he does talk a bit of shit. I think the fight itself is going to be crazy. I think this is going to be a great fight, especially for light heavyweight. 5 rounds. I think, you know, both guys are strikers. Both guys are heavy-handed. I think this is going to be a great fight. I'm not going to put it above Fiziev and Bahamondes because I think that's going to be a more entertaining fight, personally. I think it's more intriguing. But this is still a fun fight, and it's still a hard fight to call, in my opinion. Who do I think wins? Honestly, I haven't got a fucking clue, lads. I'm probably going to go... I'm going to go... Fuck off. I'm gonna go with Jamal Hill. I'm torn on that one, though, but that's why it's such a good matchmake. Maybe you could argue for A tier, but again, kind of lacking a bit of a build. But I don't mind this matchup. Think it's very good. I would have rather Fiziev been headlining than his own country, really, but I understand, you know, Hill and Roundtree are much bigger names, more star power, so I understand it. Now we move on to the next pay-per-view, UFC 317, and to start this one off, we got Brandon Royval and Manel Kape. Now, maybe a bit controversial. I'm going to put this in B tier. I want to put it in A tier, but the reason I'm not putting it in A... We may change, by the way. We'll go through it at the end. The reason I'm going to put it in just B tier... I feel like we've been robbed of a 5-rounder here. I think this is perfect. It was meant to be a main event for a fight night, and then Royval pulled out, and then Almabayev stepped in, and Kape just fucking dogged him. But... I just feel like we've been robbed with not having 5 rounds. This is going to be a 3-round fight. I think it's going to be on a prelims as well, which I think is a bit harsh. I think this is a great fight. Manel Kape makes things interesting when it comes to trash talk. I think it's an interesting clash of styles. It's almost maybe a #1 contender fight, arguably, for 125. We'll have to see how it plays out. But I think this is a great fight. But I do think Royval wins this. I'm going to be honest. I want Manel Kape to win. In fact, I like both of these guys, but I am a big glazer of Manel Kape. But I just think that Brandon Royval is going to win this. But I feel like we have been... It just leaves a sour taste in my mouth that we're not getting 5 rounds of this. Maybe this is me being very greedy and selfish. How greedy of me. But... I don't know. I feel like this is a perfect headliner for a fight night card. 5 rounds, guaranteed action. I can't wait for this one, but with Manel Kape, Royval, I believe, like, I trust we're going to get an entertaining fight. Manel Kape, he is very hot and cold. He's Mr. Inconsistent. Sometimes he puts in a worldie of a performance. In the next fight, maybe not so much, you know, low output and whatnot. So I'm interested in this fight, but it could be a stinker, unfortunately. So I'm just going to play it safe and put it in B tier. After this, Renato Moicano and Beneil Dariush. I'm going to put it in C tier. Actually, I'm going to put it in D tier. I am sorry, guys. I like Moicano a lot, but I don't know. Is it just me? I struggle to get really excited for Beneil Dariush fights. Maybe it's just me. You just know how you have those fighters who don't really get you going. You know, doesn't get you fucking pumped up. Dariush, unfortunately, is one of those fighters. I think he's a good fighter. He seems like a sound bloke, so I feel bad for saying that. Moicano, you know, he's got a bit of momentum. Money Moicano's got a bit more going to it. And maybe I've done it hard by not putting it in C tier. But I can get excited for these 2 fights a bit more than I can get excited for this fight. Do I think the fight delivers? Maybe. I can see this being stylistically quite a hard fight for Moicano. The only thing is, I think that Dariush's durability may be cooked now. Coming off back-to-back knockout loss. He's been inactive for like, what, 2 years? Should have happened in January. I just think Dariush, his durability's gone. Stylistically, again, I think he's a bit of a hard matchup for Moicano because Dariush does have... He's okay on the feet. Nothing crazy. He's okay on the feet. But grappling-wise, he's quite decent. So I'm interested a bit, but nothing crazy. Even at UFC 311, I wasn't that excited for this fight. So, yeah, it's in D tier for me. Maybe I've done it harshly, but that's just where I put it. Next up, Roman Kopylov and Paulo Costa. I'm going to put it at the top of C. I want to put it in B because I'm a big Paulo Costa fan, so it's a bit different for me. But I think this is going to be a banger. I think this is going to be the fight where Paulo Costa, ever since he lost to Adesanya, he's kind of lost his step. He's lost his confidence. He used to ooze confidence. He would confidently walk down Yo fucking Romero and have an absolute barn burner with him. I think this is going to be the fight. What brings that fire back from him? I think Kopylov could potentially hurt Costa, but I also think this is a fight where Costa could really break down Kopylov. I think Costa just front foot, constant pressure, boxing combinations, mix it head and body. I think he can break down Kopylov, but I'm not stupid. I also see a way that Kopylov wins this. Good fast kicks, you know, very traditional, very fast stand-up, he's a very good striker. I just think that Costa, with the experience that he has, he's quite hard to put away. I think that Paulo Costa is going to get it done against Roman Kopylov, and I believe it will be a banger of a fight. Maybe it's a bit ballsy of me saying that because Costa has shit the bed against like Sean Strickland, and even though people love the Rockhold fight, I wasn't particularly a big fan, even though I did see why people would find it fun. But I do believe this will be a banger of a fight, and I cannot wait for it. Next up, we have the co-main of UFC 317, Kai Kara-France and Alexander Pantoja. I'm going to put it at the top of B tier. Well, it should be at the top. I'm going to put it at the top of B tier. The build won't be crazy. I feel like the excitement's kind of drooped a lot because we've known about this fight fucking forever, and it's only just been announced. But I think this will be a banger fight, I'll be completely honest. And I actually think the style of Kai Kara-France can cause problems for Pantoja. Now I'm going to predict Pantoja wins, but Kai Kara-France, he is a good anti-grappler. He was, if you watched his fight against Askar Askarov, did some great anti-grappling. He's good on the feet. He has decent knockout power for a 125er. So yeah, I'm actually interested in this fight. I think it's going to show out. I think Pantoja is one of them. He gets stuck in a situation where people class him as a boring fighter because he's always a co-main to a main event what's going to be a lot better. You know what I mean? He's always stuck in that situation where the main event is a lot more interesting, and unfortunately that's the case for UFC 317 as well. But yes, I'm really interested in this fight, and I believe it could be an absolute banger. And I think Pantoja is going to get the win in this one. Next up, the main event for 317, Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira. I'm going A tier. I want to put it in S tier. The only reason I don't is because I think that it's, I don't want to say obvious, but I think most people, I think it's fair to say most people are picking Ilia Topuria to win this one, including myself. Now, listen, I'm not going to completely count out Charles Dublanc. I'm a big fan of Charles. I love Charles Oliveira. I don't want to see him unconscious, but I do believe that as the fate of this fight. I think he's going to be unconscious. I think when he just gets, I don't think his defense is that great. He gets dropped a lot. He gets hit a lot. He got dropped by Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, and I believe that Ilia Topuria, I think he uses confidence right now. He's a bully. I think he's going to be able to bully Charles. We've seen Charles be bullied before, I feel like. I just think he's going to be able to farm a chin of Charles. I think what helps this fight a lot is it's two big names. It's Ilia Topuria's 155, not debut, but kind of, you know what I mean? He's coming to 155 to win the title. And you got Charles Oliveira, who's had this long win streak at lightweight in the past. Used to have the Olive era. Still a very good name. Was doing great against Chandler until the 5th round. That was a great performance until the 5th round. But yeah, for me, I think that Ilia is going to win. I think it's an exciting fight, an interesting fight. It doesn't go in S tier. If this was Islam, this would have been S tier, but because it's Charles and I think the outcome is fairly somewhat obvious, I'm going to put it in A tier, but it's still going to be an interesting banger in my opinion. Now we move on. The next week, we don't have any UFC, but the week after, I believe it's July 12th or something, we've only got one, and that is Derek Lewis and Talison Teixeira. I'm going to put this at the bottom of D. Now, I actually find this interesting, but at the same time, Talison Teixeira shouldn't be headlining a fight night card in his second fight after knocking out Justin Tafa. Don't get me wrong, he looked very impressive, but this is very risky business, putting in a prospect like Talison Teixeira in there against a veteran hard hitter like Derek Lewis, who's still got it. Yeah, he's not as good as he used to be, but he's still got it. But it's just going to be one of those fights you can't really get too excited about. Yeah, it's somewhat interesting. If Talison Teixeira wins, that's a big new prospect for the heavyweight division. If Derek Lewis wins, well then Derek Lewis is still gatekeeping in the heavyweight division. So that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy. And that is quite unfortunate. Next, the week after, I believe we have UFC 318. Co-main at the moment, which was just announced, Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori. That's going straight into fucking D tier. Fuck going in S tier, mate. Battle of the Tism. No way is this going in. Come on, mate. How am I meant to get excited for this fight? Come on. I actually think it's good matchmaking. The build to it... Maybe the build could actually take it to a C tier. The fight itself, I think it's going to be fucking dreadful. I'm going to be honest, lads. I think this is a 3-round fight. I'm really hoping this isn't the co-main. This cannot be the co-main for UFC 318, else we are fucked, boys. I know June's going to be a good month for us, but... Fucking hell, what a bad start to July. We've got Taliesin Tahir and Derek Lewis, and we've got Marvin Vettori and Brendan Allen. Fucking the absolute state of the bastard thing. I know they had a hotel interaction with helps with the build, but regardless, I know we don't like each other. It's still D tier. This isn't a fight you go, oh wow, I'm fucking really excited for this one. Do your bollocks. But next up, we have the main event fight card. Dustin Poirier's retirement fight against Max Holloway. I'm gonna put it. Fuck off. I don't know where I put this. If it's B A B A B A B A B A. Fuck. I'm gonna put it A. I think we're struggling with excitement a bit because we've seen it twice, and Dustin Poirier's won twice. I think what helps a lot, we know it's going to be a banger. It's Poirier's last fight, and it's 2 big names. That helps it a lot. That does help it a lot. So it's got to go in A tier. Retirement fight, a good send-off for Dustin Poirier. But if this was like, I don't know, Poirier versus Ilia Topuria, maybe that would have been S tier. If this was, I don't know, Dustin Poirier versus... Can't think of anyone else actually fought. If this was Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje, I would have put it in S tier because I feel like that would have been perfect. Both 1-1 would have made a lot of sense. You know, both got a knockout over each other. That would have been perfect, but 2-0 over Max Holloway kind of takes a lot out of it. I feel like this was just a safe option, really. But yeah, I think it's still going to be a banger. I can't hate on this fight too much, so I've got to put it in A tier. But if you put it in B, I wouldn't slate you whatsoever. Next up, a week after, we've got Robert Whittaker and Rainier Derrida. Low-key, you know, I want to put it in S tier because I think this is going to be a fucking banger. I think it's great matchmaking. I think it's very interesting. Will the build-up be insane? Not really. Both guys are quite humble. Low-key, I want to put it in S tier, you know. I'm not going to lie. Maybe I'll get slated for that. But for me personally, this ticks a lot of boxes. I'm going to put it in A. I'm going to put it at the top of A. I just think that this is some fucking great matchmaking. I've seen people say that Rainier Derrida doesn't deserve Whittaker. I don't understand that. Rainier Derrida debuted in what? Was it start of November? Beat Gerald Meerschaert, beat Kevin Holland, another somewhat big name, and just derailed the hype train and took the O of Bo Nickel. So I think a big step up against Robert Whittaker is quite justified considering Whittaker's coming off an absolute bumming from Khamzat Chimaev. I think that's like completely fair. Again, I think this is very interesting. 5 rounds, big step up for Rainier Derrida. Can he get it done against Whittaker? I believe that Whittaker gets this one done. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think he's a good anti-grappler, but I know we got fucking bummed by Khamzat Chimaev, but regardless, I still believe that Whittaker is a good anti-grappler, like he showcased against Brunson, Yoel Romero. So I do think he has still got it. Even Jacare Souza, you know, he is a good anti-grappler. I think that Whittaker gets it done. I think on the feet he's so much more cleaner than Rainier Derrida, and I think he's going to chin Rainier Derrida in like the second round. But I'm really looking forward to this fight. I can't wait for this fight. Maybe I'm being... You know, maybe you guys won't hate it as high as me, but I fucking love this one. I think it's a great fight. Next up, a week later, or maybe 2 weeks later, I think this might be August. This has only just been announced. Tatsuro Taira taking on Amir Albazi. I'm going to put it in C tier. This isn't something you can get really excited for, but I do actually think this is an interesting fight. I believe Tatsuro Taira wins this one. I think anytime you took Amir Albazi into a fight, he seems like a decent person, but I just don't think you can get super excited for it. Not many people got super excited for him and Brandon Moreno. So how can I get excited for him versus Tatsuro Taira? No offense to Taira, I think he's fun. I'm happy, thank you, all this shit. But he's not as entertaining as Brandon Moreno. So I'm going to put it in C tier. I think it's somewhat interesting. Don't think it's anything crazy. Don't mind it as a fight night, low-key. Definitely an Apex one, let's be honest. But now we move on to the last fights that's been announced for the summertime so far. There will be other fights announced, but I want to get this shit out there whilst it was fresh in my head and whilst there was... before we got into June. The last one, obviously, UFC 319, DDP, Khamzat Chimaev, and we finally get the best till last for S tier. Boys, what more can I say? This is an absolute fucking banger. I don't know what else I can say. Fucking banger of a fight. DDP versus Khamzat Chimaev. Such an interesting fight. It's got so much to it. Everyone's wanting this fight. The biggest fight of the summer, in my opinion. It's going to be an unreal build-up. The press conference is going to be absolutely insane. I believe the fight itself will absolutely deliver. And how can you just not get excited for this fight? In my opinion, is the most biggest fight. Two big names. I think DDP is definitely a big name now. Will be what, his third title defense, second title defense. So I'm really looking forward to this fight. The best narrative for this, if Khamzat's going to win, he's going to get it done in a round and a half. If he doesn't get it done in a round and a half, DDP is going to bum in. Either way, one man is getting bummed, and we find out, I forgot the date actually, sometime in August. I cannot wait for this fight. But this is my tier list for the summer events, the UFC summer event. This is how I rank all the fights. Guys, let me know in the comments, do you agree with how I've done the rankings? How would you shift a few things? I know some of you guys are not going to completely agree, and that's fine. Justify why you may disagree with some of my picks. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.